Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. I'm delighted you have found me, and I am delighted that you are joining me. Before I start my reading, I just got a sort of a couple things that I want to say. First, happy solstice. If you are in the Northern Hemisphere, it is the longest day of the year, and if you are in the Southern Hemisphere, it is the shortest day of the year. So, nice. Here in central Alberta, where I live, we are expecting to enjoy just over 17 hours of daylight today, and it's wonderful. Okay, second, I've gotten a couple of questions or comments. One, was that I've gotten a few of them saying, he's going to destroy this country before he's done. I don't think he will. I think your country is going to end up stronger, more inclusive, friendlier, and wiser. He, in all of his insanity, has done a really, really good job of focusing the attention on those things that were norms, those things that, we didn't think, needed to be, there didn't need to be a rule about. And he's giving the world, not only the United States, but literally the world, a really good picture of what happens when you end up with somebody who's a little bit crazy, completely unshameable, and so egocentric that they just don't see the rest of the world. And so a lot of those things that were considered to be norms and they didn't need to be stated because everybody just understood, a lot of those things in the next administration are going to be corrected. A lot of that stuff is just, they're going to tighten up things so that this kind of situation cannot happen again. Even like, the loophole about, no family working in the White House, that's going to need to be tweaked. So even if they're not drawing a salary, even if they're volunteering, it can't be allowed. So that kind of tweaking and adjusting is going to go on in the next administration for sure. Secondly, I did a reading on Trump and his and women, his abuser, whatever. But I've specifically gotten questions about, was he abused by a woman in his younger years in this lifetime? My answer for right now, energetically, is probably not. I think that a lot of his behaviors towards women just simply boil down to a basic attitude that he really doesn't view them as equals. He thinks that they are beneath him. They are there to serve him. So for right now, energetically, I did not pick that up. That doesn't mean it didn't happen. It means that I don't seem to be vibrationally able or capable or whatever of accepting information from that vibration. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm not seeing any signs of it. So this morning, it was on the news that Ivanka has been charged with an ethics violation for violating the Hatch Act. Nothing's going to happen. Trump is not going to reprimand her. Nothing's going to happen. But at the very least, it's been sort of recorded, right? There's a paper trail of it. So, I just have one more thing to say. That is that I personally am of the opinion that who someone loves or how they love is not my business. So because of that, I will not do a reading based on somebody's sexual preference, are they, aren't they? Because I just don't feel it's my business to be rummaging around in people's bedrooms. Now, that thing about how for every rule, you break it, there's always a reason to break it once? Okay, I'm about to break the rule. So that leads me to my question. I do have a question. I want to know what the story is with Trump and the Russian hookers. I'm going to try to see if I can sort of get a really definitive answer. I think logically and intellectually, we all realize that it probably absolutely happened. From the Mueller report and from the testimony that was released yesterday from Hope Hicks, it's very clear that Trump was well aware of the existence of the tape prior to Comey telling him about it. He knew about it. It's as simple as that. So let's ask the cards. What is the story with Trump and those Russian hookers? So, Trump and hookers. Trump and hookers. Trump and hookers. An abundance of wands here. We've got the Queen of Wands, King of Wands, Five of Wands, Ace of Wands. So this is talking about thoughts, the way you act, behave, what you think. It's an indicator that he really, in his own way, is incredibly preoccupied. One, with sex, and two, with the Obamas. And he's just truly out to destroy or denigrate anything they did, accomplished, or stood for. To him, it is an imperative. He feels like, any effects of the Obama's 8 years need to be rolled back, taken back. So, if he was in the room at the Russian hotel that the Obamas had stayed in, and I'm sure he was, that's sort of where that energy and that thinking kind of originated and came from. It was sort of like someone said, oh, by the way, this is the room that the Obamas, had when they were here. And his immediate thought was, how do I defile it? How do I denigrate it? And so that's what he set about doing. And then, of course, after it was all said and done, there was, of course, a real concern about keeping this a secret and, not letting those little gossipy words and things get out. Make no mistake, he knew about this before Comey. According to the Hope Hicks testimony, he had people searching for this tape before he officially knew about it. So, this is the thing, right? If somebody approaches me and says, listen, we have a tape of you doing ABC with XYZ, and I absolutely know that not only do I not know ABC, but I probably wouldn't have done XYZ. My response, and most people's response, would be, it's completely fake. Go find it. If it's out there, you find it, because this has the potential to destroy my reputation. He instead sort of set about, one, trying to get the tape. He had people out there looking for it. Cohen got a text from somebody in Russia, whose name I'm not even going to try to pronounce, about we have sort of neutralized the threat. And that's an interesting phrase, because he didn't say the tapes have been destroyed. He said the threat is neutralized. Well, does that mean that it just ended up in Putin's vault? And I think that this whole escapade is part of what really keeps Trump afraid of Putin, because I think even he has to be smart enough to understand that it's probably out there somewhere. He actually fears that this could cause him to have to walk away. He just, anything that is negative, anything that looks badly on him, just causes him to try to skitter. He'll evade however he can, and that's exactly what his behavior indicates with, the Russian hookers. He's really scared of the truth coming out about his behavior overseas, and he understands that it could cause not only significant losses, but that he may actually have to abandon some of his hopes, dreams, and wishes because of the sort of scandal around that. He's really frightened that it's going to come out. And he, of course, is in bed with Putin, right? He completely is in bed with Putin, and he's aware that in all likelihood Putin has the tapes, or it's very possible that Putin has told him, we have the tapes, don't mess with us. I wouldn't be surprised. So, I guess his fear is probably valid because according to this, the tapes exist, they were not destroyed, and Putin has them. That's kind of a fair amount of leverage to be holding over someone. People tend to be, or certainly we in Canada anyways, tend to be pretty relaxed about, what you do in your bedroom is what you do in your bedroom, and as long as you're not like doing it with somebody you shouldn't be, go for it. That is not the attitude that is going to apply in this situation. Putin has too much clout, and Trump is completely aware of the fact that there is a little bit different than having sex inappropriately or having sex with somebody that you shouldn't have had it with, as opposed to the kind of behavior that he engaged in that hotel room or that he caused to be engaged in. That's where a lot of people are just going to be so turned off and sort of disgusted by that behavior coming from somebody who is supposed to be this moral authority, and he really understands that this absolutely could bring him down like in a heartbeat. Yep, there it is. Kind of scared. He's kind of scared that it could happen, it could come out, and it would cause a devastating change in his position, the way people think of him, his actual physical position to the location he's in, and his future. So yeah, I guess he has a good reason to be scared of the kinds of intimate relationships that he probably shouldn't have. And of course, here comes the Tower card. Okay, I'm going to pull one more card. Yeah, and here's the quid pro quo card. One more, let's see. Yeah, this is the Six of Wands, and if anything, this would be an indicator of what Putin's holding over him, saying, listen, I can claim victory over you at any time. Okay, so based on my cards, based on what I'm seeing, I'm going to say very probable it happened. Very probable it was simply to denigrate anything connected to the Obamas. Very possible that Putin has those tapes or has access to those tapes. And very possible somewhere in the future it might leak. It would cause Putin to become very angry with Trump, or just plain fed up with the stupidity, and just say, you know what, enough is enough. We got to get this guy out. Let's try to manipulate the next one. But this guy's such a fool. He can't get done what he's supposed to be doing, and he's an idiot to boot. Okay, so that's my reading on Trump and the Russian hookers. I hope you have found it informative, perhaps entertaining. Thank you so much for finding me, joining me, liking, subscribing, viewing. I'm thrilled with it. Thank you very, very much. Until next time, be well, take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye.